in-your-face face the world has ever seen.
The 80s, you weren't trying to look pretty, but you were really trying to express yourself on your face.
As Wall Street stocks start climbing up and up, the decade gives rise to more money, more music, and a whole lot more makeup. I give you the Me generation.
The 80s became known as the Me generation. It started off with people for the first time really desiring and going after stardom, acquiring things, and it really became an era of luxury and greed.
In 1981, President Ronald Reagan takes office, and America develops a split personality, reminiscent of the Roaring Twenties.
We think of the 20s as being wild. The 20s wasn't wild. The 20s was politically quite conservative. It was socially revolutionary because of movies. The same political climate happens in the 80s. It's very politically conservative, but socially it becomes revolutionary because of television.
The 80s really was the era of the small screen. Ronald Reagan, who was a movie star, an actor in Hollywood, first one to really sort of bring the American audience into politics via small screen in a totally different glamorized way, and it worked.
In 1981, the small screen gets a huge makeover. That summer, a 24-hour cable channel called MTV launches. It would revolutionize the way we see ourselves.
You know, the birth of MTV was a game changer for the entertainment industry. People were glued to MTV.
When MTV debuts, Madonna Louise Giacone is barely making a living in New York City. But this icon in waiting is about to break out with the music video as her vehicle.
The first time I met Madonna, I was working at Danceteria. The club was kind of empty, and she goes, "Do you want to dance?" And I went like, "Yeah, okay." And she was telling me that she was going to cut a record and be a huge star one day. Well, yeah, I said, "I do makeup, so if you do a video, like, let me know."
When movies first started, there was the idea of the close-up. The 80s were the first time you had videos where your music had a face as well.
Now, Madonna wants to be that face that's all over the media.
But to become a pop icon in this era of extremes, Madonna needs a look all her own and a stellar makeup artist to make it happen. Enter Debbie Mazar.
I was only 16, really, when I started doing makeup professionally, and I had my first Vogue spread when I was 17. I did makeup for everybody, ranging from Run DMC, Raquel Welch, I did Miss Ross, iconic people, Andy Warhol.
To turn Madonna from an unknown into an MTV megastar, looking like Olivia Newton-John won't fly. So where does Debbie Mazar turn for inspiration? Her hometown, New York City, the mecca for artistic expression in the 1980s.
It was an explosive moment of where real people were doing a lot of art and celebrity. Like my friend Jean-Michel Basquiat became famous, my friend Keith Haring became famous, and I was around like all these great art types. This kind of fabulous collision of cultures that came together. And in that period, you could kind of like reinvent yourself and be whoever you wanted to be.
Madonna is about to be reinvented as the era's preeminent style icon. In 1982, she's preparing to shoot her first music video for the song, Everybody.
Now, Madonna's look for Everybody was this kind of an 80s club punk look. I mean, wild colors on the eyes and these bright red lips.
I remember for that video, she was still using her own look and her own raw sexual energy. So I would always, do her lip liner and bring out put a little dot on her mole, 'cause it was kind of sexy. She has eyelashes for real that were kind of like webs. They were really long and lustrous, and so you would just pop mascara on her, and she was like...
So the lyrics to the song are, let the music take control, find a groove and let yourself go. And I mean, that's really what the 80s were all about, letting loose, having fun, expressing yourself.
Everybody is an anthem of self-expression, and with every look thereafter, Madonna proves to mainstream America that makeup can transform not just your face, but your identity, from beauty to boy toy, sinner to saint. And the women of the 80s embrace it.
She really gave us permission to play with our look and change to be what we want to be.
Young women are in a situation where they say, I don't need to look like my mother. I want to begin to express how I feel.
In this era where bigger is better,